Good morning. Welcome to the June 2019 Public Safety News Conference for the City of Winston-Salem. I'm Fire Chief Trey Mayo. The order of presentation today will be Winston-Salem Fire Department and then Winston-Salem Police Department. Winston-Salem Forsyth County Emergency Management is abstaining this month. We're going to start off. Fortunately, we do not have any line of duty deaths to report for the month of June. We're going to start off with a presentation from the American Red Cross, one of our strongest partners in the community. And I'm going to ask Tom Dunn to come up and make that presentation.
Thank you, Chief. I'd like to say thanks to the American Red Cross volunteers and partners like the Winston-Salem Fire Department. We have saved nearly 600 men, women, and children nationwide through our free smoke alarm installations. This includes a man right here in Winston-Salem. At about 3 a.m. on January the 3rd, this gentleman fell asleep while cooking. He was able to escape and call 911 only because he was awakened by smoke alarms installed through our Home Fires campaign. Those alarms were installed 4 years before the fire in the campaign and in collaboration with our partners, the Winston-Salem Fire Department. We don't know when or if any of us will ever have a home fire, but having a working smoke detector increases your chances of survival by 50%. Today, we congratulate both our Red Cross volunteer, Margaret Erga, who leads the Home Fires campaign for the American Red Cross in the Piedmont Triad, and in collaboration with the Winston-Salem Fire Department, who have been longtime partners of ours. At this point, I'd like to introduce John Hughes, our Executive Director. John?
Thank you, Tom. It's my great pleasure to have the honor of presenting this award to the Winston-Salem Fire Department. This is a program that we've been working on now for over 4.5 years nationally, and to now see results of the effort and the work by a life that's been saved is incredibly powerful and meaningful to all of us that have been involved. At this time, I would like to invite two of the members of the fire department, two of the firefighters who have been involved assisting us with this forward, so that I can present this. This is a national award, and the award says, "Sound the alarm, save a life, American Red Cross. Thank you, Winston-Salem Fire Department. You helped save a life. Winston-Salem, North Carolina, January 3rd, 2019. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I appreciate you all coming and making that presentation. The partnership that we have with the American Red Cross is particularly strong. They're one of our strongest community partners. Not only do we partner on smoke alarm installations, but the Red Cross comes out and assists fire victims with temporary lodging and clothing and a little bit of spending money to get them through the first few days following a fire at their house. And the Red Cross can come out and support firefighters on scene with food and refreshments and those sorts of things when we have events that go over a long operational period. So we really are appreciative of not only the partnership but the support you lend to our operations. Speaking of smoke alarms, I think we have a slide or two here. And I want to start off by saying our most recent fire death, which occurred May 26th, was in a home, owner-occupied home, without any working smoke alarms, and a lady in her 40s, due to unattended cooking, unfortunately perished in that fire. So, let's see here. What you'll see here is smoke alarms installed during this fiscal year. Our fiscal year runs from July 1st to June 30th. in partnership with the American Red Cross, we installed 195, and then we also have a partnership with Forsyth County Senior Services, where we send somebody out, normally from our Fire and Life Safety branch, when Meals on Wheels are being delivered, and we install smoke alarms as we deliver, as the Meals on Wheels are delivered. Overall this year, with still about 2.5 weeks or so to go in the fiscal year, we've installed 1,220 smoke alarms in the city of Winston-Salem. That's a 21% increase over what we did in fiscal 19. So, and I'm sorry, this is, let me confirm with Sabrina, is this fiscal 18-19 or fiscal 19-20? Okay, so this is last fiscal year, this is what we did. Okay, so, so we still have about 2.5 weeks to go in this year before we have the totals on the current fiscal year. But in any regard, the important thing is folks in the life safety branch and in the operations branch are out working hard, making community contacts, putting these smoke alarms in, and they are making a difference, as Tom just told us about. Smoke alarms are cheap, they're easy to install, they're low maintenance. Typically all that is required for their 8 to 10 year life expectancy is to be vacuumed on occasion or blown out with that canned air you can get from like a computer store, and then they need to be tested on a monthly basis. They need to be installed on each level of the home and inside and outside of all sleeping quarters. We do not recommend installing smoke alarms in or immediately adjacent to kitchens or bathrooms, because you don't want to get in a situation where burned popcorn, burned toast, that sort of thing, or the release of water vapor from a bath or shower creates a situation where you can have a false activation of the alarm, and that does happen pretty frequently. In addition to the vacuuming or blowing out of the alarm, the monthly testing, if you have a smoke alarm that is equipped with batteries that are designed to be removed and replaced, they would typically be 2 AA batteries or a single 9-volt battery. Those batteries should be replaced twice a year. And of course, you know our campaign where we encourage citizens to change their batteries when the time changes, when you change from daylight savings time to standard time and vice versa. More and more frequently, smoke alarms are available that have a 10-year lithium battery that is not designed to be removed. It's good for the 10-year life of the smoke alarm, and when that 10-year life expectancy has been reached, you just throw the entire alarm away, battery and all, and replace the entire unit. I want to speak to landlords now. We have a lot of tenant-occupied housing in Winston-Salem. Our frequency of fires is higher in tenant-occupied housing, and North Carolina General Statute 42-42 requires that landlords at the beginning of each tenancy provide operable smoke alarms listed or approved by a credible national testing laboratory. Examples of these would be Underwriters Laboratories or Factory Mutual. As of December 31st, 2012, any new or replacement smoke alarm put up by a landlord has to be of the type that is tamper resistant and has that 10-year lithium battery that I was talking about earlier. Smoke alarms are to be installed either according to the recommendation of the National Fire Protection Association or the manufacturer's recommendations. The landlord is bound by general statute to replace smoke alarms within 15 days of receiving written notification from a tenant that a smoke alarm is missing, damaged, or otherwise inoperable. Now, what I would do, and this is sort of a little bit of a tricky situation, I know, for folks who are in tenant-occupied housing, but if you are a tenant and you do not, you cannot get a response from your landlord to replace missing or non-working smoke alarm, I would encourage you to contact the city's Community Development Code Enforcement Division at 336-734-1252 and report that, and they can hold the landlord accountable for keeping those life safety devices working. Now, the last thing I have regarding smoke alarms is I would be remiss if I did not mention the fact that smoke alarms are passive devices. Yes, they're cheap. Yes, they work well. Yes, they're low maintenance. But all they do is say, hey, there's a fire. They don't do anything, or hey, I smell smoke. They don't do it. They don't take any action to address what the problem is. And the way that we do that to really make our homes safe from fire is by installing residential fire sprinklers. And we're not going to have a fire-safe America until we get everybody on board, homeowners, builders, plumbers, architects, until everybody comes on board and understands the importance and the safety value of residential fire sprinklers. We're not going to have a fire-safe America. Let's see, that's all I have on that. I'm going to turn it over now to fire and life safety educator Sabrina Stowe, who's going to talk about some summer goings-on, swimming tips, and other things coming up in the fire department.
Good morning, Sabrina Stowe with Fire and Life Safety Branch of the Winston-Salem Fire Department. Just want to talk a little bit about swimming in open water, safety. Just to kind of go over a few of the stats, just wanted to remind people that drowning is the #1 cause of accidental death for children between the ages of 1 to 4. Another number I want to point out, African-American children between the ages of 5 and 19 are 5.5 times more likely to drown. Some of the other stats, as you'll see over there, with injuries related to swimming, 44% of those injuries happen in home swimming pools. 23% of those are the friends' homes that you're sending your kids to, and 18% of those numbers are coming from public pools or apartment pools. So the numbers are really, really high, so that's why we wanted to talk about this today. Just some of the things that you can, just general safety tips that'll help. Never have your children swim alone, not only children but adults as well. Always have a buddy. Never leave your children unattended. And also making sure that when they're using flotation devices, that this is not a substitution for supervision. You still need to watch your children. I think there was an accident earlier this week with a child on a flotation device out on the ocean and got swept away. So you want to make sure that you're paying attention to what's going on with your children. Maintaining that visual contact, not being distracted by your cell phones, your crossword puzzles, or whatever you may be doing, and making sure that you're never trusting your child's life to another child. The adult supervision is very important. Children can drown very quickly and very silently. Swim at depths that you know are safe for you. Children may not have that wherewithal to think about things being dangerous, but you know your children, you know what their swimming levels are, so you want to make sure that you're not getting them in situations that they may not know enough to be afraid of. Never swim when it's dark. If you're boating, make sure that you're exiting the boat or the water. If you're hearing a storm, lightning, thundering, make sure you're getting off the water, out of the water. And also make sure that you stay hydrated. Make sure you're not drinking alcohol, especially when you're boating, and also be careful with caffeinated drinks. As far as the pool, make sure that you or your children are always obeying the pool rules. Never run, never push anyone, never jump on another person. Also, you want to stay away from the pool drains. They can be dangerous. The kids can get swept up into those and maybe pull down into the water and be at risk of drowning. Make sure that the water is clean. Make sure that when you're going in the water that you're clean, that you're showering before you go in. Have your children take breaks, take them to the restroom, and understand that there are germs in water, whether it's the pool water, lake or pond water, and make sure you don't swim when you're sick or have any open wounds. Never boat or swim alone in lakes or ponds. Be aware that there can be threats in those waterways, trash or debris, limbs, that type of thing may be in those areas. Only swim in areas that are designated for swimming. If you see the signs, please don't go into those areas. Just want to make a mention that the City of Winston-Salem pools do offer free swim lessons. In order to take advantage of that, you must go to the pool to register for those lessons. They're only taught before the pools open or in the evening. Parents can only register their own children. No lessons are offered at the Winston Waterworks. And for more information, you can just contact the pool of your choice. The pool supervisor there can give you information, or you can go to the city website at cityofws.org, go to the recreation page and click on pools and parks. Does anyone have any questions about anything with the fire department? Okay, thank you. At this time, we will hear from the Winston-Salem Police Department.
Good morning, everyone. I am Assistant Police Chief Natasha Miles, and on behalf of Police Chief Katrina A. Thompson and the women and men of the Winston-Salem Police Department, I would like to welcome you to the June 2019 Public Safety News Conference. First, please join me in honoring our fallen officer for the month of June who paid the ultimate sacrifice, Aaron Jerome Tice. On June 26, 1992, Lieutenant Aaron Tice was intentionally struck and killed by a suspect driving a stolen motor construction equipment. The 15-year-old directed the grader towards Lieutenant Tice's patrol car, even as Lieutenant Tice attempted to move out of the way. As the grader collided with the patrol car, Lieutenant Tice attempted to exit the vehicle through the passenger door. However, his legs became stuck and he was unable to totally exit the vehicle. The suspect was thrown from the vehicle upon impact. The motor grader dragged the patrol car down the road, hit another patrol vehicle, and stopped after crossing the main road. By the time officers were able to get to the vehicle, Lieutenant Tice had succumbed to the injuries sustained during this incident. The suspect ran from the scene, but was arrested a short time later when he returned to the scene. Lieutenant Tice was a 46-year-old veteran of the Winston-Salem Police Department. He served 24 years with us. The cause of death was vehicular assault. The weapon used was a commercial automobile, and the offender was sentenced to life. Please pause for a moment of silence to honor all those who paid the ultimate sacrifice. Before I begin with our upcoming events, I would like to thank the women and men of the Winston-Salem Police Department for risking their lives every day and for all the great work that they do on a daily basis. Our upcoming events is our Citizens Police Academy graduation, which will be held on Thursday, June 27th. Rock the Quarry Triad 4th of July event will be at Quarry Park on Saturday, June 29th from 5 p.m. to 11 p.m. And also our Youth Police Academy will begin on July 8th, 2019. Next, you will hear from Sergeant Marcus Hamilton, who will provide an update on recruiting military and veteran, and he will be followed by Corporal Angie Swain from our Hazardous Device Unit, who will provide information on fireworks safety.
Good morning. Thank you for being here. I'm Sergeant Marcus Hamilton. I'm currently the Winston-Salem Police Department Police Academy Sergeant in charge, and today I'm going to talk about some efforts that the city and the department have done in actively recruiting and some incentives for military veterans. As you can see on the board here, one of the things the city did was implement a 5% pay incentive for military veterans. So as part of that effort on the recruiting staff is actively recruiting those military veterans. This billboard, as it said, this is right outside of Fort Bragg Army Base, where so these soldiers, as they're separating, they see something that draws them to Winston. That the recruiting, the city, the department has seen characteristics between law enforcement and in military veterans that we would like to draw them to us. Part of the pay incentive is one of those efforts that has been given. Next slide. Goes into another portion talking about some of the other incentives of being of coming to Winston-Salem in general, the paid training, the $1,000 signing bonus once you complete BLET, and then again that 5% that military veterans receive. Lastly, I want to talk about a recent change in our uniform policy was to allow, next slide, is the approved military veteran pin. Two things that came to this was, one, it connects the veteran as they come to the police department with their past service, and it makes a connection between the two, that it's not that where one career ends and another career ends, that there's a continuity between those two, but also as an outward expression on the uniform to the citizen, and it may spark a conversation. There may be a veteran that's on the call for service that the officer's going to. They see the pin, they recognize that as a fellow veteran, an instant connection there that may not have been made had the pin or that outward showing that they're a veteran. They may not know that they were until they see the pin. So what I'd like to do now is call up the military veterans that are in the audience for the police department to come up. I have some pins I'd like to present to you. Yeah, this will be good. Thank you for your service. 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 I think that this is a good step forward, again, to making that connection between our, I'm also a veteran, that connection between that other life that we may look at it and our new life here, but making sure that there's a connection there and that they're not forgotten, that sacrifice that they made to the country has now just been transferred, and that sacrifice now is to the community and to the citizens of Winston-Salem. Do you have any questions? If not, I'll be followed by Corporal Angie Swain.
Good morning, how are y'all? Good, I'm glad. What I'm gonna do, my name is Corporal Angie Swain. I'm with the bomb squad with the Winston-Salem Police Department. I'm gonna talk to you just a little bit about what legal versus illegal fireworks are. It's almost the 4th of July. We recently had Memorial Day. So we're gonna talk just a little bit about state statutes, what is legal, what is illegal in North Carolina. In North Carolina, legal fireworks are anything basically that doesn't explode, spin, leave the ground, or fly through the air. So smoke devices, noise makers, glowworms, sparklers. We have a lot of kids that like to play with sparklers. All of those things are legal in North Carolina. Illegal fireworks, anything that basically leaves the ground, explodes, spins, those are all illegal. So firecrackers, Roman candles, bottle rockets, any type of aerial firework is what is illegal in North Carolina. Now, granted, I know a lot of people go South Carolina, Virginia, Tennessee, And they think that because they can buy them there, they can bring them back to North Carolina. Technically, no, they can't. They can't bring them back into the state of North Carolina because it is a misdemeanor. North Carolina general statutes cover that. They explain what is legal, what is legal. General Statute 14-414 defines what is legal and illegal in North Carolina. So we have that as our basis. So as I stated, what was legal and what was illegal, statute covers that. 14-410 gives us the authority to charge the illegal fireworks. So anybody that manufactures it, possesses it, sells it, transports it, anything like that, the illegal fireworks, then they can be charged under state statute 14-410. The Board of Commissioners of any county has the authority under North Carolina General Statutes 14-413 to give permits for anybody wishing to have a pyrotechnic show in the state of North Carolina. So the county commissioners can issue the permit, and then the state fire marshals go out, and then they'll do the conduct the inspections. Winston-Salem City Ordinance also covers illegal fireworks from any lake in the city of Winston-Salem. So you can't have any firecrackers, guns, pistols, or anything like that. So Winston-Salem City Code 30-7 covers that. You have to be 18 years of age to purchase any type of firework in North Carolina. Nobody under the age of 18 can purchase it. If you violate and have any type of illegal firework, it is a misdemeanor in North Carolina, and the fine can be anywhere from $500 up to 6 months in prison. If, again, state law requires that anybody shoots indoor or outdoor fireworks, they have to submit an application to the state fire marshal. They have to attend a safety class, and they have to pass a written exam. All of that before they would even be allowed to be permitted to do any type of outdoor or indoor firework displays. Does anybody have any questions in regards to those? Up here I have some displays stating or showing illegal versus legal fireworks, and it kind of gives you an idea of what they are. Any questions? All right. Chief Miles?
I would also like to thank our very own military veterans for your service. Thank you. At this time, we will accept any questions that you may have. This concludes the Public Safety News Conference for June 2019. The next conference will be held on July 10th, 2019 at 10 a.m.